Welcome back, Duelist. Casual Duelist here. And as a special treat, you guys voted, I listened, and that means we're doing Winged Dragon of Raw for the rest of the week. With a short layover with Master of Oz come Saturday. So let's get into my new deck box, and I know that you guys are going to be like, oh, that's so cool. So just real quick, this is not a paid promotion. This is just something I saw down at my locals again. This is put out by GameGenic. As far as like a regular like number or anything to it, not sure what to say about it. It's a good hard case, good stiff protection. It does come with a band if you wanted to do an over the shoulder. Personally, I just like to throw it in my bag. And you even have, these are actually removable Velcro dividers, so you can section it off however you like. We do not need the Masterclass version. We do, however, want the Speed Duel version today. So, Speed Duel Winged Dragon of Raw is going to look a lot different than Obelisk the Tormentor, and only because I wanted it to. Now, I say that, and what it comes down to is the Hieratic Chant skill card does allow us to actually add the Winged Dragon, same way that we were able to add Obelisk, making him probably the second most powerful god card in Speed Duel. But I did not want to rely on just going, hey guys, it's the magnets again. So let's pop off the list. We'll let the people go who only want the list, and then we'll discuss strategy afterwards. So skill card, Hieratic Chant, 1 Winged Dragon of Raw. Yeah, that's right, guys. We're doing insects. So 3 copies of Beatron, 2 copies of Swarm of Locust, and 3 Swarms of Scarabs. It's going to make sense with the next card. You ready? Allure of Darkness. Right, a lot of dark. 3 copies, maximize it. 3 Books of Moon, because good anti-meta. And why insects? Because worm bait, my friends, worm bait. So you're going to play that at 3. You're going to round out your deck to 20 with 2 copies Zoma the Spirit, because it's still great to keep a great card like this around. In the extra deck, we are going to be running the Arcana Knight, 2 Blue Eyes Ultimates, 3 Ascension, the double Restrict. This is actually going to be the same extra deck and side deck. So you're going to see me have my 2 Cosmic Cyclones here, my Nobleman of Crossout, my double Lost Wind, and my single Waking the Dragon. So essentially all you want to do here is you just want to power out to the Winged Dragon of Raw and use him as a win condition with what's going to be 3,900 point card. I tried figuring out if there was a backup plan, and unless they really add Mystic Walk to speed duels, I don't see any fast, viable option to stop you from losing to burn. And Zoma's really going to hit you hard. So this really needs to be placed in the category of casual decks, guys. Even though it's real quick, real easy to play raw, this one may not be the best solution. So, for everybody who is just here for the list, thank you for watching. I do hope that you've enjoyed today's video. And if it has helped you, it would be alright if you subscribed. It's even better if you could tell your friends about the channel, because the more people watching, the more people that can have fun with all these builds. However, class is totally dismissed for you guys. Go enjoy the rest of your day. Watch some more videos. There's plenty. I've made a bunch. Other people make videos. Go watch some of theirs. It's all love. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. Now, everybody who's here for the strategy behind the deck, I can essentially, if you guys have been watching, I can pretty much just cut the extra in the side deck so we can keep the video a little lower in length today. So we're going to start off with our skill card, and this is one of those once per duels. Activate the skill during the main phase, discard your entire hand. It must be at least 1 card at the time in order to add 1 Winged Dragon of Raw from the deck or the discard pile to your hand. And if you do, you can tribute summon 1 monster during your main phase this turn in addition to your normal summoner set. And I'm wrong, this is not a once per duel effect. So for some reason, you're allowed to summon or at least tutor the Winged Dragon of Raw as many times as you want. Now, this skill also would have benefited partially the magnets but only if you already had a magnet monster on the field and the field spell, and then we're able to bank off the extra summon from that, and then the normal summon. So that's why we chose to go insects today, my friends. Let's go ahead and put Merrick, good old, for those of you who watched the, I want to call it the unhinged season, but I'm thinking it's unabridged. We're going to put Binky Boy over there. So real quick, we're going to start with the God card. I know that I left this out of alphabeticals today, and that was because I wanted to surprise you guys with the bugs. So the Winged Dragon of Ra's got a nice laundry list of effects here. Cannot be special summoned. Requires 3 tributes for normal. No normal sets. If this normal summon card, this card's normal summon may not be negated, and when normal summoned, other cards and effects cannot be activated. When this card is normal summoned, you can pay life points so that you only have 100 points left. And if you do, this card gains attack and defense equal to the amount of life points paid. Again, in our case here, that's going to be 3,900 life points. So this will be 3,900 by 3,900. Last effect, you can pay 1,000 life points and target a monster card on the field, destroying the target. He's not terrible, and one of the biggest drawbacks is the life pay. Again, the same way Obelisk can go down to Zoma, we can absolutely lose to Zoma, which is a little upsetting, but it's one of those things, like, unless you have the room for the Jinzo, you can just go ahead and Book of Moon the Zoma while it's a monster. It'll reset as a trap, and you'll just play through it anyway, and it doesn't matter. So, one of the bigger threats to us isn't really a threat. You just gotta watch out. There's always going to be somebody having a little bit of fun playing a burn deck, and a burn deck will still beat the crud out of you. So, again, very casual build here today, but again, I promised to finish out strong with the last 2 skill cards, and I really hope that this provides you guys a Winged Dragon of Ra experience. Going to the bugs, we do have B-Tron. You're never going to activate his effect. He's best because of his stat, just in case you don't draw the whole combo right off the rip. He's here because he's Insect and Dark, and that's it. The effect would be that you can send a face-up spell trap that you control to the graveyard, which would only ever be Zoma. Target a level 4 lower insect in the graveyard, special summon that in defense mode, and you can activate this effect once per turn. Not the world's greatest effect, guys. But that said, I mean, he's probably better in like a synchro or an overlay era, and right now we're barely in a fusion era for speed duels. So this card may have some redeeming features and play later on in the game, should speed duels live long enough to make it there. And I do hope it does. But we are using him just solely for Dark Insect. Swarm of Locusts and Scarabs are essentially the same card. They have inverted stats. They're both 3-star Dark Insects. One is 10 by 5. The other is 5 by 10. Once per turn, these can both change themselves back to face-down defense. And if they are flip summoned, they can target a card on the opponent's side of the field to destroy. Locusts is played at 2 because it's going to destroy back row. And Scarabs is played at 3 because it's going to help us destroy monsters. We shouldn't ever really get into a mode where we need to play it, but if we need it, it's here. And again, Dark Attribute, that's another 5. That gives us 8 targets for our 3 Allures of Darkness. That's a very consistent draw pattern in a 20-card build. Again, you need the 3 Allures of Darkness, draw 2, then banish a dark monster from your hand, and if you fail to do so, you lose your entire hand. So again, try not to do this without at least thinking over, I know you're not allowed to count cards in blackjack, but this is Yu-Gi-Oh! We don't have money riding on this ever. So feel free to, in your head, run the numbers. And if it helps, every card in a 20-card deck is a 5%. So maybe that'll help you, maybe that won't. So you draw 10% of your deck using this, and then you run your ratios based on what you think is still in your deck because, well, you can see your hand, your opponent can't. So 3 of those, 3 Books of Moon. Again, we want to shut down certain cards as quick as possible. And again, one of the best win conditions against us would be Zoma. And if we were able to book the monster and set it again, it would set as a trap. It would move back to the back row. And Zoma would then not be blocking our super turbo chicken of godly doom. So it's a good way to protect yourself from taking all that burn damage, especially since you had to pay almost all your hit points at the beginning of the combination. And the last really good one here. This is like the card that made me put this all together. Worm bait. So if you control an insect, so we summoned an insect, special summon 2 worm tokens, level 1, 0, 0s, whatever. You cannot normal or special any level 3 or 4s the turn you activate this card. So this is like a turn 2 card. Okay? This is like a turn 2 card. Because there were no like 1-star dark insects. If there were 1-star dark insects, which I did not come across, or maybe I just missed it. If that would have been the case, yes, play the 1-star, activate the worm bait because you're doing the conditional effect, get your 2 tokens, activate your heretic chant, go straight into discarding the rest of your hand, get the extra normal summon. Again, God cards are 10 stars, not a 3, not a 4. Bingo, bango, boomo, instant God turn 1. This does need 1 turn of setup. And it is one of the things that does make this deck a little more iffy, which is why I'm glad Beatron had the 1600 attack points. And again, if you're dealing with the Book of Moon, and you set the Book of Moon, you got the Scarabs, you can set your opponent's monster when they go to strike you, flip it, pop the card, play the worm beat, go into the heretic chant, instant, amazing. And plus, then it's like a direct attack. So that's fantastic. And then, of course, last but not least, Zoma. Still got to be aware that there are going to be decks like Inner Conflict out there. You might be playing your friend. You guys might be having a battle of the gods. Maybe his Obelisk or his Raw or his Slifer is coming at you, and you just want to go ahead and even up the odds. Zoma's going to do that. It's also going to act as an additional tribute that you can special summon as a trap activation. Again, after the first turn. So that didn't take terribly too long. Let us see if we can't give you guys a quick 1-2 test hand. And then we'll go ahead and thank you guys because, again, you guys have sat through way too much of me just talking to myself. Especially because I'm definitely skipping that again. All of those are just basic common choices. Again, you want to use the Cyclones if you find that you're playing up against something a little more control heavy. You could also add Jinzos and Kaiser Gliders into the side deck if you really wanted to. There's no rules against any of it. Play how you feel most comfortable, obviously. Let's see if we can get a 2-turn Winged Dragon of Raw here real quick. So, I'm feeling good about this. Let's go. Get your 4 cards. Allure, Scarab, Zoma, Beatron. Fantastic. So, it doesn't really matter what you set. And if you go second, you got the addition of having your Worm Bait, which means you're already set. If you didn't, you're still going to play the Allure of Darkness, at which point you're going to have 2 Worm Baits. And if you did go second, you'll also have the Book of Moon, which we're not going to say. So you got these. You're going to have to choose one to pop and get rid of. Personally, I would choose probably the Beatron. Just because my opponent might easily and definitely overpower it. But I believe that if Zoma is special summoned, it is no longer considered a card in the back row and can avoid Breaker, the Magical Warriors effect. So this way I can set my 2 cards. I'll leave that face up because it's just you guys. So that'll be my deck, my discard, my everything. And I'm sitting pretty for a nice round 2 here. Again, my opponent, whatever, they do their thing. Your next turn, you do have the Book of Moon. Obviously, if you went second, it's a much stronger play to have the Book of Moon because then you would have had the book with the Zoma, and it's more chances for Scarabs to survive. This turn, you'd flip the Scarabs, potentially break the monster, activate the Worm Bait, summon up your 2 tokens, play the Hieratic Chant effect, ditching your whole hand, grabbing the Winged Dragon, and summoning it off the 2 tokens and the Scarabs. And again, since your opponent's monster's field would be empty, you could then actually special summon Zoma in defense mode. And if they try to break your side of the field, you're pretty golden. It is what it is. I mean, you could always just leave the Zoma, since it would come back in defense mode anyway, and deal with your opponent this way. Again, casual deck, so we get some cool casual results. We do get Winged Dragon of Ra within just a couple of turns. If you did have to pick between one of the two decks, I think I'd stick with the Obelisk, personally. He's just always been my favorite God card, I mean, clearly. But this is fun. This is good and casual. It is a super chicken. And as soon as you guys get this to 100, because you guys seem to do that within a day and a half, 2 days, as soon as this deck gets to 100 views, I will automatically upload the masterclass version. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-tape this one real quick and see how quickly you guys can make me upload this too. All right? All right. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.